Hello there YouTube, it's Webby3, back with another kicking graphic novel review. Today we're looking at another book from REXTOOTH Studios and Ted Reichlen. It is T-Rex Generations. Why yes, most of their graphic novels do appear to be about T-Rex. How interesting. Hey, T-Rex sells. You know, it's the one people are interested in. I think all dinosaurs are interesting, but... oh, who am I kidding? I love the T-Rex as much as everybody else. Anyhow... this is from REXTOOTH Studios. It is an indie book, self-published. Ted Reichlen, the writer and author. The writer and artist. REXTOOTH is his company, and he self-publishes these books through his own company. They're very cool. It's a nice hardcover. Hear me doing a little tap there. Nice hardcover, huh? And I really do like it. It's about the life cycle of the T-Rex. Let me give you a read over the back of the book here, eh? You think it's hard growing up now? Step back 66 million years ago into the late Cretaceous, during the reign of the king of the dinosaurs. Tyrannosaurus rex has long inspired awe and wonder across generations. The planet's most legendary carnivores grow to be over 40 feet long and weigh 9 tons. Their bite is more powerful than any terrestrial animal that has ever lived. Follow Cobalt and Sierra, a mated Tyrannosaurus pair, as they raise their 4 hatchlings in what is now Hell Creek, Montana. Even in their prime, will their fearsome power and prowess be enough to protect their offspring? Join acclaimed artist Ted Reichlen from Tyrannosaurus Rex, Sharks, A 400 Million Year Journey, which I can review if you would like me to, and End of the Ice Age, which I can also review if you'd like me to. I believe I've already done Tyrannosaurus... no, I haven't done Tyrannosaurus Rex yet. Once again, there's multiple T-Rex books. In a return to his epic science-based storytelling, featuring Reichlen's action-packed full-panel spreads, T-Rex Generations is a coming-of-age story like no other. And they run about 1995. ISBN 9781591522294. Was that too fast? It's fine, you got Google. Anyway, let's pop the book open. I did enjoy reading this. It's written and illustrated by Ted Reichlen, but edited by Anne Reichlen. And it's from 2018, so, you know, hopefully it still holds up scientifically. But it takes place 66 million years ago in Hell's Creek. You see these little baby Rexies hatched to their parents. And there's a bit of sexual dimorphism going on here, you know. I believe the males have blue eyes and more prominent ridges, and the females have green eyes and more rounded ridges above the eyes. Males also have some larger scaling pattern and stuff. Reichlen draws sexual dimorphism in prehistoric creatures, which I really appreciate because not a lot of people do that. Oftentimes, when an artist shows sexual dimorphism in a prehistoric creature, they just take the male bigger route, even though a lot of animals would probably have had bigger females, depending on a lot of factors, actually. But yes, I do appreciate Reichlen's continued dedication to science, especially sexual dimorphism. So these babies hatch, and, you know, the parents, Cobalt and Sierra, are teaching them to walk, teaching them to talk, hunting down Edmontosaurs, and the babies are chasing little lizards around. But the parents don't let them travel too far. They're growing up. It's nice. We see a big old Ankylosaurus that, one of them, Sierra, gets a little... Normally she would have just let it walk by, but the Ankylosaur got really close to her nest, so she was trying to run it off. Worth the risk in her mind, but the Ankylosaur gets her. Gets her right on the leg, and she is injured. Luckily, her mate can help take care of her. But they're not the only predator around. You know? In the book it says that darkness is a hunter's greatest ally, and the younglings are going out as a group to hunt a little. But darkness also hides danger. And only 2 chicks survive the night. A big ol' dromaeosaur gets them. Not great. They try their luck with some triceratops. which are really bumpy. It doesn't super work out for them, but Dad shows up and is able to help out a little. There's this really great 2-page spread with like a black and white image of the dad Cobalt snapping off a horn from one of the Triceratops, and like all of these other parts of the battle surrounding that lead up to that moment. It's very cool. It's very brutal. These books are supposed to be kind of for a general age range, kids and adults, but keep in mind, these books can be kind of violent. They're, you know, animals eating each other and defending themselves, after all. But some of these REXTOOTH books have a decent amount of gore in them. This one hasn't had much so far, which is nice. I don't mind it. I actually kind of like it because, yeah, of course there would be gore. They're tearing into each other. But, hey, what you gonna do? Anyhow, we jump to 3 years later. The 2 remaining hatchlings have grown far past hatchling. In fact, it's been so long that a new batch of babies have hatched, and they're the cutest little buggers ever. And the parents are busy taking care of the youngest babies. So, yeah, these 2 that are growing up have to go kind of fend for themselves now. And they find a carcass, but it's already been claimed. Dakotaraptor, a 20-foot-long dromaeosaur, which is a big, like, raptor. Huge. Big enough to take these 2 on. It's a little bigger than one of them. 2 of them, maybe they could take it, but is it worth the risk? The kids are willing to find out. Dad is not willing to find out, though. He runs off the dromaeosaur. Also, the way this book is framed and everything, every time they encounter this dromaeosaur, it's implied that it's the same one. So it's kind of implied that this is the dromaeosaur that killed their sibling. I don't know if I'm reading into that a little too much or not, but we jump 4 more years in the future. These 2 are growing up pretty rapidly. They're even chasing down some Edmontosaurus. Chasing them straight to Dad. So now they're using pack tactics, which is awesome. There is evidence that some T-Rex might have lived in these group structures, so that's cool to see. Also, they have some like quill-like feathers on their backs, which is really nice. Anyhow, the siblings get hungry at night, so they go out on their own again. You can see that they're kind of starting to get into being big individuals. And they get run off by some Triceratops, but we see they actually meet one of the Triceratops that their parents fought and broke the horn off of. We also see a big ankylosaur, and they're like, can we take that? And they look at its tail, and they're like, nah, we saw what it did to Mom. We're not doing that. And then they see just a few Edmontosaurus by themselves in the woods, and they attack. They attack these 3 Edmontosaurus. And before, they just chased the Edmontosaurus into the waiting jaws of their father. But they run up to these Edmontosaurs, and the 3 just look at him like, hey, Daddy ain't here to help you. And I love this so much. The Edmontosaurs beat the snot out of the juvenile Rexies. I know that doesn't sound funny, but it is. And recently, I actually did a review, an action figure review, over the 2020 Safari Limited Edmontosaurus that recently got retired. And in that video, I talked about how underrated Edmontosaurus is, how it's always viewed as just T-Rex prey, and that people don't think of it in its own light. They always think of it in relativity to T-Rex. So when I read this book for the first time, and I saw them run off these juvenile Rexies and like actually hit them and bite them and fight them off, I was like, finally, respect for Edmontosaurus. Edmontosaurus, you know what, it might be my favorite hadrosaur. I'm going to say it. Edmontosaurus, we know more about it than really any other hadrosaur. It's an incredible animal that leaves the best trace fossils in the biz, at least for dinos. So yeah, Edmontosaurus deserves respect. But when it's dark and there's an Edmontosaurus alone, well, that's a little different, isn't it? That they're able to take down. Their first real independent kill. As big boys. Well, one's a boy. But something comes to take that kill from them. It is the Dakota Raptor. It smelled the carcass, and it's here to claim it. But this time, the tables have turned. Each of the Tyrannosaurs is bigger than the Dromaeosaur now. And the Dromaeosaur, the one implied to have killed their sibling, now leaves. They have outgrown their predator. And their names are Nova and Orion. And they are the next generation of Tyrannosaurus Rex. And that is it for T-Rex Generations. So, final thoughts. I like Reichlin's work. I really do. I often feel that the art can be kind of flat in these. I know it's one person doing everything himself. Well, I mean, obviously there's other people helping him and whatnot. You got Ann Reichlin doing lots of editing. But this guy is the penciler. You know, he's his own colorist. He's doing the panel layouts himself. The writing himself, for the most part, on these books. Sometimes he has a co-author, like in Sauropods. But Sauropods will probably be the next one we review, by the way. But I don't know, the art just seems flat in a lot of places. I love how he likes to give dinosaurs a lot of colors you don't usually see them in. Yes, the Rexies are brown, but it's like a clayish kind of reddish brown a lot of the time, at least in some of the darker patches. And there's a lot of orange on them, and there's blues and greens, and he likes to give the dinosaurs colors you don't usually see them in. Yes, Rex is brown, but there is a lot of color to these Rexes. In addition to that, I like the commitment to showing sexual dimorphism among animals, to showing some dinosaurs we don't see a lot, like the Dromaeosaur in this book. And respect for Edmontosaurus. Yes, dude. But I do feel like sometimes I'll just be reading one of these, and I'll be like, I swear I've seen this art before. It just feels like in a previous book, I saw a lot of these same poses. Sometimes I think he takes his Rexes and kind of puts them in another book. Like Rexes that he's drawn in a pose before gets kind of copy and pasted and put into things. Which is not bad, and I could be wrong about it. He could just do a lot of similar poses and I'm a jerk, for all I know. But when the art's kind of flat and it feels like dinosaurs are being copied and pasted from other works sometimes, I don't know, when you read a lot of it, that kind of builds up a feeling. These are indie books. I'm willing to give him a pass, and honestly, it's his art. He can do that if he wants. I think my biggest complaint about the book is that it's just another T-Rex book. I mean, the Sue book also kind of has T-Rex life cycle stuff in it, and I thought it was much more interesting. I've read the T-Rex book that goes along with a certain film that came out as well. I thought it was better than this. I believe there are at least 4 T-Rex books from Ted Reichlin REXTOOTH Studios. These graphic novels. I've read 3 of them. And out of the 3, this is the one I liked the least. Felt like, yes, it's a book about the life cycle, but Sue kind of also touched on that a lot and whatnot. I feel like it doesn't have terribly much to say beyond some of these other Rex books. It's good. If you're only going to get one Rex book, I'd probably say get Sue. Or maybe the REXTOOTH Studios T-Rex. It's just called T-Rex. That goes with the film. If you've seen the film, definitely get that book. I think it's a great companion. But yeah, I don't know. It's just not my favorite. And there are so many T-Rex books from Reichlin. Yeah, there's other stuff. There's a Sauropod book, a General Jurassic book. You know, he's into Ice Age book. But there's so many of these that are just T-Rex. Come on, give me something else. Give me a Gigi book. Give me a Therizinosaurus book. Edmontosaurus, Concavenator, Stegosaurus even. Even just other dinosaurs that are very common in pop culture and stuff. I'm fine. I want to learn more about any dinosaur. But when every other book is like T-Rex, you're repeating a lot of information, and it becomes a bit more tedious. It's a good book. It's a good price. It cares a lot about science. And if you saw that some of these other T-Rex books were pretty gory, this one's not as gory as some of Reichlin's other work. So if you're concerned about your kids seeing gore, this one might be better off for them. Once again, I think this is a great read for many different age groups. Maybe like, let's say ages 10 and up is who I would say this is pretty good for. Ages 10 and up. Just my personal reference. But also, you know, you're a parent. Maybe if you're listening to this for that purpose, wondering if it's good enough for your kid. If you let your kid watch nature documentaries, where like a cheetah rips a zebra's throat out or something, if you're okay with your kid seeing that, you'll be okay with the violence in this book too. So, that is it. Thank you all very much for your support. This has been T-Rex Generations from REXTOOTH Studios. I think I'll review sauropods next. I'm kind of already ready to go ahead and do the movie book for T-Rex, but I don't want to do 2 of the T-Rex books in a row. Maybe I'll at least separate it by a Marvel or something. Sauropods is the one I'm leaning towards, but I've reviewed Sue, I've reviewed Jurassic, and I'm going to review sauropods, largest animals to ever walk the earth, Tyrannosaurus Rex, and T-Rex. That's it. Thank you all once again. Let me know in the comments which ones you'd like to see first, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.